In this video cheat sheet, I will be setting authentication for GLBP on interface Fast Ethernet 00. Previously, I configured GLBP on interface Fast Ethernet 00 with no authentication. I will use MD5 authentication using a keychain for this scenario. I will start off with the baseline show command, show GLBP Fast Ethernet, to display the GLBP status of the interface. Then I'm going to enable a debug command of debug GLBP events all to see how things unfold as I enable authentication. Then I finish with the baseline command show GLBP Fast Ethernet to see what changed. Let's look at the network topology. I will be setting MD5 authentication using a keychain on router 1 and router 2. Authentication allows each GLBP group member to use a secret key to join the GLBP group. MD5 authentication provides greater security than the alternative plain text authentication scheme and protects against spoofing software. MD5 authentication allows each GLBP group member to use a secret key to generate a keyed MD5 hash that is part of the outgoing packet. A keyed hash of an incoming packet is generated, and if the hash within the incoming packet does not match the generated hash, the packet is ignored. I will enter my show command, show GLBP Fast Ethernet on router 1. As you can see, router 1 is the active forwarder and router 2 is standby. Unless authentication is not configured, which is the default, there is no authentication for GLBP. I'm going to enable debugging on router 1, entering command debug GLBP events all to get its perspective as the lab progresses. I'm going to enable authentication on router 1, utilizing the authentication MD5 keychain command in interface mode. From the debug output, I see router 1 receiving a bad authentication from router 2. Router 1 and router 2 are not on the same GLBP group anymore. I'm going to enable authentication on router 2 utilizing the authentication MD5 keychain command in interface mode. Moving to router 1, from the debug output, I see GLBP going through the different stages, and router 2 is now the standby router. Now I will enter my show command, show GLBP Fast Ethernet, on router 1 and router 2. I see that the standby router is router 2 and the active router is router 1. Take note that the forwarder state is active and the forwarder 2 state is listen. Both routers now have the same authentication parameters. In this video cheat sheet, I set MD5 authentication using keychains on GLBP interfaces. I started off with the baseline show command, show GLBP Fast Ethernet, to display the GLBP status of the interface. Then I enabled a debug command of debug GLBP events all to see how things unfold as I enabled authentication on router 1 and router 2. Then I enabled MD5 authentication using keychains on router 1 and router 2. Then I finished with the same baseline command, show GLBP Fast Ethernet, to see what changed.